All right, here's the best thing I saw. I actually saw it on TikTok, so I wanted to share it. Tigers Fan Fest from this past weekend. I was really.
That was this past weekend?
I believe it was this past weekend.
Oh, wow.
I was really impressed with the way the stadium looks, the people that were out, and just the idea that Tiger football is back. And it seems to have a different energy than it has had in a couple of years. Even though with Coach Silverfield they had success.
Yeah.
This has a different kind of energy.
And we're not just talking about the renovated and the new club level, which I'm pretty sure this guy is going to want to check it out. You know what I'm saying?
I get an invite to the club level.
Well, he'll find his way over there. But, yeah, I mean, I think it looks good. And I'm right there with you. The energy is different. Mm-hmm. I do wish that the first game was like a more notable opponent, but sometimes maybe that's okay. I think it's a lot we're going to find out in that week 0 matchup with UNLV. And hopefully that the Tigers come into their first game against Arkansas State 1-0, because if they don't win that game, people are like, well, same old Memphis, all this talk, no action.
I think people are going to give Coach Huff some leeway because it takes time to build.
Yeah.
And it's not like winning early led to long-term success for Silverfield, right? For the former, they never won the conference.
Unfortunately,
you know what I'm saying? So what's a week 1 win, week 0 win mean if you don't win the conference? It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So I think people are going to give them some grace, and I like the fact that Memphis seems to be getting behind Memphis football right now. Excited about it again. Kind of like when they beat Arkansas last year. You saw a resurgence of like, all right, we're back in this thing.
And it was like.
Yeah, and then it did crash.
And unfortunately, well, maybe it's not unfortunate for Memphis, but Silverfield went to Arkansas, went to the team that you beat.
I have my own opinion about that. We need to get to your best thing.
Let's get to my best thing. Now, Ruben, I must say, we're almost a year to the day of when I made my return to being on air with you. And it's funny because we had James Thomas as our guest back then, and on my debut episode, I did Remember 901 Bets, and I talked about the Cubs. And even back then, that's where the Ruben Contrarian gimmick started, saying that the Cubs weren't going to be any good. And now a year later, my best thing I saw is the Cubs walking off the White Sox in back-to-back days, Ruben. I know you're not a baseball guy, but that was against the resident Chicago White Sox. It's a city rivalry.
That's a city rivalry. I know that.
It's back-to-back walk-offs.
Can I ask you a
question?
Cubs. Are the Cubs going to win the series? Then what are we talking about?
Then
what are we talking about?
I mean,
I saw somebody got whooped by 22 runs yesterday.
No, that was the Brewers and the Seahawks. I mean, not the Seahawks, the Mariners. But to answer your question, obviously we got the Dodgers is probably going to win it all, but the Cubs just swept the Dodgers.
But I'm just saying, what are we celebrating if your team's not going to win it all?
I think the Cubs can win it all.
Your team's not going to win it all. You just said you don't think they're going to win it all.
Well, you just never know,
So your team is not good enough to win it all. So what's a couple of wins matter if you can't win it all?
The Cubs can win it all.
They're not going to win.
You just don't never know. And baseball is different. You don't never know. This team is peaking at the right time. I think they're 4
True story.
games
True
back.
story. I would love to see the Cubs win because they're one of those teams that just has had so much misery. One of those franchises.
They won in 2016.
Yeah, but they've had so much misery over the years.
That's the highlight of my sports.
The poor dude with the glasses catching the ball.
Oh, Bartman?
Yeah, I mean, that poor guy. Just that too much of that kind of stuff over the years. So I would love to see the Cubs win it.
I know my dad would. I mean, the reason why I'm a Cubs fan is because of my dad. I know I'm from Atlanta, and, I was rocking with the Braves, but it's a whole nother story I don't feel like getting into on this show.
We ain't got time for it anyway.
We do not. That will do it for today's episode of the 24th Floor. Shout out everyone who made today's show possible, especially our guy behind the scenes, Andrew Pollard.
Growing his mustache.
Yes, remember, check out his work on that high school football special, especially the Nat package, The Return. Ruben, have you looked at it yet?
I haven't had time. I've been working. I'm a busy man. We want to give a big shout out to Houston head coach James Thomas for joining us right here on the set as well as they get ready. Don't forget, we'll be there for the game of the week, Germantown.
You're going to see him on the sidelines, not with a camera, but with a plate of food.
With a plate of food.
But if you see me at the legendary Crump Stadium, Melrose and Central, I'll be there with a camera and some AirPods on as always. Come dap me up, say hello. But we will see you on the other side here on the 24th Floor.